Hey, welcome back to Good Day. First 100 days behind the wheel, the most dangerous for any young driver. Deborah Hersman, president of the respected National Safety Council, and you have been looking at this problem for a long time. And a lot of kids will start to learn how to drive during the summer months when mom and dad may have a little bit more time.
Yeah, and that is really a deadly time for people to be driving. The 100 deadliest days for any of us on the road, and particularly here in Texas, are between Memorial Day and Labor Day. And so even though the kids are out of school and they're doing a lot of things that might be considered fun, it's really time to be vigilant and pay attention.
Right, and deadly not just for the kids, but obviously it takes two to make an accident, and deadly for other people on the roads as well. So they are very risky drivers during that learning period.
They are. They're very risky. Some of it is immaturity. A lot of it's inexperience. They just lack the skills that experienced drivers have, making good judgment calls about gaps, speed, staying with traffic, and that's how accidents occur. But it's also things like extra passengers in the car. Just one more passenger in the car with a teen driver increases their crash risk by 44%.
Right, because that other person might be, even if it's a little brother or sister, might be a distraction to a brand new driver who should be concentrating on nothing but driving.
That's right. Every additional passenger with a teen driver, family member or not, increases their crash risk. And so one passenger, 44%, but if you get up to 3 passengers, 4 times as likely to have a crash. And so parents and sign a new driver deal with their teens to make sure that they understand what the risks are and what their expectations should be with that new driver. And it's just as much the parents' responsibility as it is the teens.
And you have some things you'd like to see on that as well. We've got a link to your website which kind of outlines some of those things. But for example, nobody else is in the car or no more than one person, and you want to know where you're going, what time you're going to be back.
That's right. You know, it's really about engagement for parents. Just because your child has gotten their learner's permit, has gotten their driver's license, it doesn't mean they don't still need you. They do need you. You are the best driver that they have to model, and so you want to model the behaviors that you want them to replicate. Don't talk on your phone. Don't text. Make sure you always wear your seatbelt and never drink and drive. And so those are really great behaviors to model. But for us, the National Safety Council, we actually launched Drive at Home. It's a program to help parents coach their teens and be involved with their teens here in Texas. We're piloting it in 5 communities because of the high fatality rates here in Texas, and we want to make sure that we do better by our teens and take care of them when they're behind the wheel.
Right, and there are so many distractions, and one of the funny things that I'll hear from parents sometimes is, I've told my kid, don't answer the phone when you're behind the wheel. Then mom calls to find out where they are, and they get upset when they don't get an answer immediately. Well, maybe you don't get an answer because the kid's actually following the rules and not answering the phone.
Actually, that should absolutely be a reason for parents to praise their teens. Either set the phones up so that they are not on while they're driving. Encourage them to put them in the glove box, put them in the trunk so that they're not tempted when that phone dings or beeps to go after it.
Terrific advice, and we link to more, including maybe some information, definitely some information on that agreement that you want to sign with your kids. And by the way, it's also important that you enforce the agreement when you make that contract with your kid. You can go find that information on myfoxdfw.com. Thank you very much.